Now at 6, not a done deal. The mayor's warning for New York City bars and restaurants as new restrictions loom. Now the governor's weighing in. And we're following breaking news. Shots fired at a mall near Milwaukee. We know several people hurt. What we're learning tonight. And inside the negotiation, an exclusive look at the dangers of a hostage situation in Queens that could have ended very differently. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Natalie Pasquarella. First up, schools. Now Mayor de Blasio says the hammer will soon come down on bars and restaurants, which he says could come the first week of December. Now, by the state's metrics, which are used to determine new restrictions, the city is below that 3% trigger for now. If it surpasses that threshold for 10 straight days, orange zone restrictions go into effect across the city. This would impact a lot of businesses, not only bars and restaurants, but gyms and houses of worship. And across the Hudson in Newark, street closures will go into effect in just about 2 hours to curb the spread of COVID, which is rampant in New Jersey's largest city. We have a lot to get to tonight. Let's start with team coverage in the city and in Newark with News 4's Andrew Siff live in Astoria, Queens. Andrew, with what Governor Cuomo's now saying about those possible future restrictions.
Right. Well, what the governor is saying, essentially, he said it late this afternoon, is that it's the behavior of New Yorkers could still determine whether further restrictions are necessary. And as of now, it remains up in the air. A rare chance for an outdoor meal today, and Laura Hernandez savored every bite, knowing indoor dining may soon be off the table.
It's hard for business, but you know, we're New Yorkers, we love our city, and in order for us to continue having this, we do what we got to do.
Now that schools have switched to all remote, speculation about the next restriction is swirling. Mayor de Blasio today offered his forecast based on the upward trend in COVID cases.
The governor has said an orange zone is coming to New York City by our projections based on the state data. Brian, that will happen soon after Thanksgiving, probably the first week of December.
But about 5 hours later, a different answer when we asked the governor about the timeline. The mayor said this morning, based on the data and based on what his health folks are telling him, based on the data, he would expect New York City to be an orange zone around the first week of December. Do you share that assessment?
Nobody knows. You'll see it in the numbers. It's going to be a direct action of New Yorkers. New Yorkers will decide what the infection rate is post-Thanksgiving by what they do on Thanksgiving.
Also subject to possible closure, gyms, over the objection of places like Planet Fitness, who today said they've only detected 45 cases out of more than 600,000 gym members. Customers bracing for a pause.
If we want to contain the virus, we have to do what needs to be done.
And restaurants with no federal help arriving, desperate for relief, with thousands of jobs on the line if sit-down dining goes away.
It's absolutely devastating. We're going into the holidays, and now we're going to lay off tens of thousands of workers and shutter more businesses. We need to support them.
And while the governor wouldn't put a date on it, he did say that area-by-area restrictions are possible, and he singled out Staten Island, which currently has the highest COVID positivity in the city. We're live in Astoria, Queens. Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
All right, Andrew, thank you. Let's go to New Jersey now, where in less than 2 hours, Newark will shut down streets in COVID hotspots to curb infections there. The mayor says a 10-day lockdown could be coming. Now, Essex County is seeing the highest number of cases and COVID deaths in the state. Hospitalizations went up again statewide for the 21st straight day. News 4's Gabi Acevedo live there in Newark, Gabi, where business owners are pretty nervous tonight.
Natalie, that is correct. We spoke to restaurant and business owners here in the East Ward concerned about the negative impact on their businesses. They say these street closures starting tonight and the potential 10-day stay-at-home order before Thanksgiving amount to some of the hardest restrictions since the start of the pandemic. Daniel Silva and his family have been running Madrid Lisbon for over 3 decades, a staple restaurant in the Ironbound, but still to this day, slowly recovering from the initial shutdown order at the peak of the pandemic.
You're never ready for things like this. There's no way you can get ready for anything like this.
Silva's business has taken a big hit this year, and starting tonight, New Jersey's largest city will begin enforcing street closures in the East Ward, an area that's seen a surge in COVID-19 cases.
It's a little bit easier to catch it. As far as people being careful. They are being careful. There's just so many people inside a small area.
Mayor Ras Baraka's order aims to flatten the curve. Streets leading into the Iron Band will be shut down from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. tonight and tomorrow.
We want only folks to come out for essential purposes. That's what we want. During that time.
Residents inside the affected area will be allowed to travel in and out only for essential needs. Proof of residence and the specific need will be required.
They're picking on us. They're picking the ironbound, that's it.
But some here still fear the shutdown won't be enough to stop the spread of COVID, while having a negative impact on business.
If they're going to close down the Ironbound, that means people are going to go to Elizabeth, they're going to go to Harrison, they're going to go to Kearney.
Most of our customers come from out of town in. So if they're not coming in, so that doesn't generate any business.
Newark police already alerting neighbors about the new restrictions. The department will be working with clergy members to help residents through this closure. Mayor Baraka is also planning a 10-day stay-at-home order starting Wednesday, just before Thanksgiving, looking to curb large house gatherings.
Do not go outside if you do not have to. Do not, mingle with other people if you don't have to, right? Stay to your family and your immediate household.
Just to be clear, that 10-day lockdown is not official. Mayor Baraka will need Governor Murphy's approval to issue that order. In the meantime, Mayor Baraka wants people who see violations of COVID guidelines to report it quickly to the city. Reporting live from the Ironbound in Newark, Gabi Acevedo, News 4, New York.
All right, Gabi, thank you for the latest there. In Connecticut, the state also trying to contain a surge in new cases. Take a look at the statewide positivity rate, up to 6.6%. Nearly 96% of the state is now under that red alert status, including all of Fairfield County. Governor Ned Lamont recommends staying home for Thanksgiving. And to further curb the spread, all team sports are on hold through mid-January except for college or professional sports.